but I'm just going to read you a little part about this. The other thing is, George and his family are on a party line. And the boys love to carefully pick up the receiver and listen in on other people's conversations. And one day, George is convinced that he's heard some German. So there's a spy somewhere in the neighborhood. He goes and gets Jimmy next door and comes over, and they're going to listen in again. And I should also tell you, George has two little sisters, Mags and Lizzie, and they love to tattle on George. So Jimmy's gotten the phone, and Lizzie walks in. Georgie, if you use the phone, I'm going to tell Mom. My other snitch sister, Lizzie, had sneaked up on us. Rats. Jimmy slammed the phone down. Before Lizzie could tattle to Mom, we beat it outside. Wish we'd hear something good like Albert did, I grumbled. The last day of school, Albert Duncan bragged that he'd heard people talking German on his party line. He planned to catch them and get his name in the newspaper for being a hero. We planned to beat him to it. Right, Jimmy said. Let's nab us a Hun before Albert can. Should be easy, I said. They're everywhere. Right here in Kansas City. Maybe real close. Me and Jimmy looked up and down our street. Highland Avenue was quiet. Say, I pointed at the little gray house across from ours. Mrs. Schmidt lives there, and her husband comes from Germany. Jimmy frowned, but her old man's dead. Besides, a spy wouldn't hand out cookies like she does. I shivered. We've been eating German cookies. That's a perfect cover. People don't suspect a nice person. Oh, but what if they send her to jail? No more gingerbread men on Halloween. Father Collins said it was our duty to report it if we heard or saw anything German. Mom won't even say sauerkraut, Jimmy said. We got to call it Liberty cabbage. We should watch Mrs. Schmidt real close, I said. Never mind about her. Jimmy pulled a folded paper from his knickers pocket. Look what I got for target practice. The twins lifted it off a store window. The poster said we should buy picture stamps to raise money for the war. A big picture of Kaiser Wilhelm frowned at us over giant red letters. Lick a stamp and lick the poster of the Kaiser. Besides listening to everyone talk about the war, we were surrounded by posters and booklets that told us ways to help our country win. Pictures of German soldiers made them look like monsters. I stared at Jimmy's poster. Kaiser Wilhelm was the German leader. Everyone said he was mean, but his pointed helmet and fancy mustache just looked silly. Get our ammo, Jimmy ordered, while I nailed this to a tree. The sun beat down on Jimmy's yard. It was hot for early June, and I was glad we were out of school. Sitting all day in a sweaty classroom is no way to keep cool. Everything and everybody stinks worse. When things get real hot, you can tell what kids had for supper the night before. They sweat out cabbage soup or garlic or hot peppers. While Jimmy pounded the poster onto a tree, I crawled under his back porch where we hid our secret stuff. My slingshot had GPC carved in the wooden handle. I grabbed both slings and the bag of rocks. We mostly used them to shoot at squirrels. We mostly missed. The Kaiser's picture made a perfect target. Got him! Jimmy's shot hit the Kaiser's funny-looking tin helmet. Then it was my turn. Ready. I loaded the biggest rock. Aim. I pulled back. Fire. I let go. We watched my rock whiz past the tree and crashed through our garage window. We took off down the path behind our yards. While I ran, I wondered why I let Jimmy talk me into stuff that got me into trouble. At the end of the block, we stopped and leaned against the Wilson's fence. I took in a gulp of air, and a rotten stink came with it. I held my nose and coughed. "Boy," Jimmy said, "your ma's gonna be plenty riled. You're in for it." "Shooting the Kaiser was your idea," I hissed. "So what? Your rotten aim broke the window." I ignored it and sniffed again. Whatever that rotten pong was, it was close by. Jimmy was ignoring the stench. "Is Charlie," his older brother, "is Charlie going to help the boys take Kaiser Bill for a ride tonight?" I didn't answer. The Kelly twins had made a dummy of our enemy. They'd stuffed it with straw and painted Kaiser on the front. They planned to tie it to the back of a friend's car and drag it around the neighborhood. I knew my coward brother wouldn't go with them. While I tried to catch my breath, I thought back to the night I learned my brother was a traitor. So you have to read it. I want to tell you that the story about the Kaiser dummy was a story my mother told me. She was born in 1912, and when she was 6, she remembered the boys in the neighborhood dragging this dummy of the Kaiser around the neighborhood. So